6 years ago, the Giants had an historic playoff run, and rookie Madison Bumgarner pitched like a veteran on the biggest stage there is. The 21-year-old impressed as a starter and reliever in the postseason, including a dramatic NLCS win over the Phillies. Now a four-time All-Star and World Series MVP, Bumgarner returns to the city of brotherly love to take on the Phillies. Game 1 of the series next.
The road trip begins tonight. We're in the city of brotherly love, Citizens Bank Park. Game 1 of this three-game series, Giants and Phillies. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is former Philly, Mike Krukow. And very interesting the last couple of days. The Giants win on Saturday and Sunday. They acquire some new people. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Madison Bumgarner. The last time he faced the Phillies, and it was at AT&T Park, Cameron Rupp beat him with a home run. So payback time for Bumgarner.
Well, and don't think for one second that he doesn't remember that. And that'll be a very interesting matchup to watch. Look, there's been a lot of turmoil here the last 48 hours. A lot of change has come into the Giants clubhouse. When that happens, you need to have a great big constant that takes control and brings that chemistry together, and they have that tonight with Madison Bumgarner. He's 4-3 lifetime against the Phillies, but here in Philadelphia, he's never been beaten in this ballpark. He's 2-0. So he's going to take a lot of confidence into the start, and they have a lot of confidence because they won the last two games on the homestand. That means everything when you're building momentum. They have it tonight, and they'll look to the big man to try and cash in on it with Madison Bumgarner.
Eduardo Nunez is going to hit 9th, Bumgarner 8th. All right, when we come back, we will have the lineups in the first pitch right after this.
So Madison Bumgarner on the hill tonight. On the hill is Zach Eflin, and the lineup that Eflin will be facing looks like this. It'll be Span, Pagan, and then Hunter Pence, a former Philly. And you can see his numbers with the Phillies. He's a good player here. Posey, Crawford, and Belt. Panic is going to hit in the 7th slot, then Bumgarner 8th, and Eduardo Nunez, the new guy, he's going to hit 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Phillies will be the right-hander, Zach Eflin. And this is what he has done at 9 starts, 3-4 with a 4.23 ERA. 27 strikeouts and 12 walks in 55 innings. And you're going to see a fastball that's right around the low to mid-90s, more lows than mids. He's got the 4 basic pitches you see from a starter. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. And he'll throw them all. I mean, he's got the use of all 4 pitches. The big guy, 6'6", 215 pounds, just 21 years of age. And lifetime against the Giants, no record. He had a start against the Giants in San Francisco. And he pitched well. He gave up 1 unearned run. This is how he uses his stuff. You're going to see hard stuff a lot. He thinks off the fastball. And then his slider is probably his #1 specialty pitch. But he'll use that changeup curveball depending on what's working for him that particular day. But as we said before, he'll throw them. Time to take a look at the Phillies defensively behind Zach Eflin. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be Goodell, Altair, and Paredes. That's your outfield. The best arm will be in center field. Joseph on the right side. And Cameron Rupp, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Really a tale of 2 starts for Eflin in his last 2 starts. Gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings against Miami. The start before that, he had a complete game shutout against the Pirates. So Giants are trying to figure out which one is going to show up. Here's Span. First pitch of the ball game is up high. So we get started at 7:07. And the next pitch to Span is a strike.
Absolute perfect night for baseball. And the carry to this field tonight is to left field. Although right is still live. Definitely a ballpark that favors the hitter.
Hey, Will Smith showed up.
Will Smith flew into Philadelphia from San Diego, is where the Brewers were when he got word that he'd been traded to the Giants.
Softly on the ground to the shortstop, Galvis, and Joseph cannot hang on. So Will Smith is here. Will needs a friend. Come on. There's the roster moves. Activated. Moore and Smith. Adrianza activated. Williamson on the DL, and Reynolds and Suarez headed out. There you go. See?
Well, the mayor of the bullpen.
He kind of snuck in there. Nobody saw him sneak in.
Well, he's 6'5", about 240. He's hard to sneak in anywhere. Sergio Romo, he's the official greeter in the bullpen. Welcome to Will Smith aboard.
All right. An error starts out this ball game. An error on Galvis. He'll fit right in with Strickland and those guys that are very large out there. Pagan takes high, hitting .282, 6 home runs, 37 runs batted in. So Eflin will get into the stretch immediately. Pagan 2 for 3 lifetime against Eflin. Span with a good lead. Should be noted that the weather is warm. And we saw Denard Span really react favorably to that on this last road trip.
But not too warm. Actually, it was a beautiful day. You never know what you're going to get this time of year. 96 and muggy. It can be 75 and beautiful, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
This is popped up. Goodell. 1 out.
All right, time for our Nissan keys to the game. Number 1, offensive rhythm. And Giants with a day off. And mix things up a little bit. They finally get everybody back on. Brandon Crawford is back healthy. And Eduardo Nunez is in the lineup and hitting 9th. So they need to find offensive rhythm. It's very important as they start this 9-game road trip. And number 2, road momentum. You have to start early if you're going to have a good road trip. And tonight is key. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Hunter Pence, a nice ovation when he was introduced. This man dives back in one more time. Good to have him back. Slightly open stance for Hunter Pence. What was that?
Well, it can be a little weird zone. Bob Davidson, the plate umpire tonight, he's a low ball guy. And at times he can have a very wide zone. Other times it can be a very tight zone. But he does have the best squat in baseball for an umpire. It's kind of hysterical. Kind of eases into it. And it's definitely something if you're pitching,
he raises
you see
both arms to like even himself out. Kind of.
You know, and you see it. It's hard to kind of get it out of your mind if you're the pitcher out there.
And a strike. Right there to Hunter Pence. Giants won the last 2 games in that National Series, and with those 2 wins, they had a 3-4 homestand. Span with his lead, and he goes, and Pence is just going to take it. I mean, if Eflin would have stepped off, it would have been dead meat for Denard Span. That's stolen base number 10.
Well, this is the jump of the year. He was halfway before Eflin got rid of the ball, and Hunter Pence, to his credit, wherever that ball was, I mean, he's going to take it because he saw the jump.
So it's 3-1. And it's 3-2. 94 from Zach Eflin. High fly ball down the right field line. That'll sail into the seats.
We have been in this ballpark when right field is as live as Coors Field. Not so much tonight. I think of all the times you've been here, this is one of the more fair right fields we've seen because the wind is kind of working its way towards left field. It's much easier to hit the ball out to left field than right field tonight. But having said that, it's still a short porch and right.
Another payoff. And the walk. So here's Buster Posey.
Trade deadline has passed. I do have to say that I believe walking to the Giants clubhouse today, you could sum up their clubhouse in one word: energized. And that's what you're looking for if you're the general manager.
Buster Posey did not face Eflin back in San Francisco, and here he takes a strike. A couple more notes about the Giants. They're 9-8 against the East, and even with that awful road trip, the last one through the East, they're 29-23 on the road. Matt Moore will start on Thursday. He's here. high to Buster Posey. 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants arrived in Philadelphia early in the morning on Monday. So by the time they slept in, they really had a full day off yesterday in this great city to have a day off in. Outside and low, 2 balls and 1 strike. A couple more notes on Matt Moore. You see his starts this season. One of those starts was against the Giants. And since June 12th, his last 9 starts, he's been terrific. The bell tie strike to make it 2-2. Mike and I had a chance to visit with him for a good while before the game, and he is a happy man being here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On the ground, it could be a pair. Hernandez, Galvis, Rupp. No, Posey beats it out. And that's going to allow Crawford to come to the plate. So nice job by Buster Posey getting down the line.
Keep the inning alive.
This is August, and this is about the time of the year where catchers aren't feeling that good about running down the line.
No, they're not. But he also knows that you've got a good RBI guy behind him. So the extra effort, he legs it out, and the inning extends.
Buster digging. Crawford did not play in the last 2 games. He had a jammed thumb, so he stands in there hitting .269, and he leads this team in RBIs. And he takes a healthy rip and he fouls it straight back. Crawford was laying in the weeds on that fastball since he got off the plane.
Do you think about the very first pitch you're going to see?
Absolutely.
Really? What about if you're going to bunt? You think about that too?
Absolutely. Popped him up, and this is going to be out of play. I mean, ask me anything right now, and I'm going with absolutely.
Do you practice your home run try?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Am I paying for lunch tomorrow? Not a chance.
I was leading up to that.
0-2 to Crawford. Span is at third. Posey's at first. Breaking ball. Joseph will spin around, go to the bag, and that'll end the inning. Giants strand a pair. Bumgarner coming out. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup that'll face Madison Bumgarner. Hernandez will lead it off, then it's Altair, followed by Maikel Franco. 19 home runs this year. He's lighting it up. It'll be Cameron Rupp, the cleanup hitter, and then the former Giant Tommy Joseph. Paredes, Goodell, and Galvis, and then Zach Eflin will hit ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be Madison Bumgarner, the 6'5", 250-pound, 27-year-old. 10-6 on the year with a 2.09 ERA. Four-time All-Star, making start number 23 of the year. 170 strikeouts and against 36 walks. How does he do it? With a low 90s fastball from a low three-quarter release. Let's see, slider, a cutter, curveball, changeup. Lifetime against the Phillies, 4-3 with a 3.27 ERA. Here in this ballpark, never been beat. 2 starts, 2-0 with a 2.81 ERA. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Bumgarner. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right. It's going to be Pagan, Span, and Pence, the best arm in right field. Crawford, Nunez on the left side, Panic, Bell on the right side, and Buster Posey. He'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Here's Hernandez hitting .289. He's got a couple of home runs as he shows bunt, and he takes a breaking ball for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Altair and then Franco. On the ground sharply up the middle for a base hit. So Bumgarner, like Eflin, will be in the stretch right off the bat. Here's Altair. Altair at .231, a home run. He's got 3 runs batted in. And he takes a call strike. He's 3 for 13. That's his numbers are this year.
Medium speed on the infield tonight. It's a good infield. Guys are talking about it. Coming off the field during batting practice.
Hit out to right center field. Pence on the move. Pence looking up. Gone. There goes the other way, and it's 2-0. My goodness. I thought Pence was going to catch it, and Pence just looked at it. That was it.
Not a mistake either. I mean, that's a knee-high outside corner, and Altair just introduces himself to Madison Bumgarner. And he's basically saying, I like that stuff away, and that may be the last one he ever sees. But he really gives you an idea of the carry to right field this ballpark, even with wind blowing it out to left. And we know Madison Bumgarner, and oftentimes if you're going to get to him, you get to him in that first inning.
That's a fact. There's a base hit into left field.
Right now, he is not fooling the Phillies. 3 hitters, 3 bullets.
Here's Cameron Rupp, who
Phillies hit .239 as a team. They're ranked just above the Mets. Second to last place in team batting average. And they even hit worse than that here in this ballpark. Phillies as a team hit .218 in this ballpark. As live as it is, they just have not been able to really ignite.
Here's Cameron Rupp. And there's a call strike. Rupp beat Bumgarner with a home run to straightaway center field at AT&T Park the last time the Phillies were there. And this is popped up. It'll be Panic. And Panic, you see the wind move it more towards left field, so Panic puts it away, and that'll bring up Tommy Joseph.
Yeah, pop-ups tonight, you don't want to call them too soon. You got to play them like you're playing them in San Francisco, where one guy calls them and everybody pigtails.
Here's Tommy Joseph. who's really lighting it up these days. He's got 14 home runs. He's got 26 runs batted in. He had a double in 3 at-bats against Bumgarner back in San Francisco. First curveball misses.
Joseph got a very quick bat, especially middle in.
Hunter Pence will give chase, but that'll drift out of play. There's that big scoreboard located in left field, right down the left field line. Can't put it any other place. If they put it in left center, it blocks the perfect view of the city. See, the lineups are left up there at all times.
Yeah, I like that.
Hopped up again. It's a 1-2. It is a beautiful ballpark. It's a whole complex. I mean, they got the football stadium here, they got the basketball arena here, and they all share the same parking lot. For the longest time, this was the franchise that had the streak of most sellouts. Foul back.
Got in tight nicely. Tommy Joseph, a former second-round pick by the Giants in 2009. Came over here in the Hunter Pence trade. I think that if you look at the way they set this city up, I mean, this is the one city it makes the most sense because it's the same route you take to every arena, whether it be the Flyers or the Sixers or the Eagles or the Phillies. Take the Broad Street line.
Kansas City does it the same way, although they do not have an NBA team, so there's no basketball arena in their complex. Here's 2-2. So Bumgarner going right after him at 90.
You see Citizens Bank Park, and behind it, you get a chance to see the parking lots that are shared by all of the venues. Across the street, we've got the old Forum. We've got the new arena for football or for basketball and hockey, and then they have the new, relatively new football stadium. They're all beautiful.
He got him. Got him with the curveball, and that'll bring up Jimmy Paredes. Paredes at 216, a couple of home runs, 7 driven in. I think Giants fans, if they don't remember the 3-game series against the Phillies in San Francisco. The Phillies played them as tough as anybody that's come into that ballpark this year. Breaking ball for a called strike. Giants ended up taking 2 out of 3, but all the games were close. Every game was a 1-run game. So Bumgarner trying to settle things down here in the first inning. Look out. 2 balls and a strike. Let's move you back a little bit.
Just to let him know he's out there.
Yeah. Let you know.
becomes a big pitch. Be number 20 here in the first inning. You go back and look at Bumgarner's season, really his career. And normally the first inning is when you see him throw the most pitches that he'll throw in an inning.
That's deep and foul. And it's not unusual to see him come out in the second and after 2 pitches just be locked in for the rest of the game.
Young man got himself a souvenir. Dad, you need to bring your glove. Come on. If you bring yours, he'll bring his.
That's right. 3-2, and Mike Alfranco will take off. And he got him, and that'll end the inning. Phillies on the board first. They lead 2-0.
Is brought to you by AAA. Get a free road trip day pack with a AAA insurance quote. Go to AAA.com/road trip or a AAA branch for details. Restrictions apply.
Brandon Belt stands in, and the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Now, I've seen shifts on Belt, but this is the most dramatic shift I've ever seen. By the way, it's 2-0 Phillies.
The wishbone defense.
Hit up the middle, and a base hit. Oh, that was my whole point. We've not seen that infielder, and it was Franco, that far pulled. And it cost him.
Yeah, you're right. It absolutely cost him. So, very quickly, Eflin back in the stretch.
Facing Joe Panik. By the way, that's the first hit for the Giants. And Bell will take it. And here's Panik. Panik takes wide. 251 for young Joe Panik. 7 home runs, 37 driven in. We were trying to bait Joe Panik today to act like he was very angry at Matt Moore for hitting him in the head.
I just don't think he can be angry.
We asked him to practice being mad, and he kept laughing. It's 3-0. He's got that. Here's Bumgarner. He just couldn't do it. And a strike. So Panik took that one. He may not take the next one.
Straight away in the outfield.
And the walk.
All right, time now for our Togo's Big Play the Togo's way. And Sunday, Madison Bumgarner's a pinch hitter. Hit a opposite field double. Banged it off the wall. He's now 3 for 8 with a walk in his career as a pinch hitter. And Matt Cain was loving it. The benefactor, he would go on to win his 100th game that day. That's our Togo's Big Play. But having said all that, he may bunt here.
He also, Samar just scored. And it turned out to be a run that was necessary. $10 for 56 on the season for Bumgarner. On deck is Eduardo Nunez. And the strike, and it's 0-1. How about that? Home runs to left, doubles to right.
Wow. But he's got the power to hit the ball out to right field, especially in this ballpark.
And he takes that pitch down low. A single and a walk. And it's a ball and a strike to Bumgarner. Two and one. Eflin gets the sign from Rupp. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
A rather large cut.
Oh.
His batting practice in this ballpark was, he kind of toyed with it. And it wasn't enough just for him to hit one over the wall in left field. He was putting it over the second deck.
Wow. 3-2.
95, just a little bit outside and low.
Well, this is going to be a fastball, and Bumgarner is going to come right out of his shoes. Got him.
Changed the grip on the fastball, changed the movement. That's a 92-mile-an-hour sink, and he swings right over the top.
Well, come out to the ballpark early on Saturday, August 13th, as the Giants honor Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry. The statue unveiling ceremony will begin at 1 at the 2nd and King Street gate, and the first 20,000 fans are going to receive a replica Perry statue courtesy of Coca-Cola. sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Nunez. Nunez combined numbers between the Twins and the Giants 295. He's got 12 home runs. He's got 49 driven in.
He's been a breath of fresh air. Giants haven't seen him for a couple of games, but they really like what they see.
This is high and far and foul.
Upper deck far. He's got 12 home runs. And in the ballpark he was playing in Minnesota, that's not an easy place to hit home runs.
Belt at second, Panic at first. Curveball popped him up over by the Giants dugout. Rupp over, and it's out of play. Lot going on over there, and that's who ended up with it.
I think she's okay.
Yeah, good.
She's tough. Philly tough.
0-2. Hit on the ground. That's one. No. So that'll put runners at the corners.
I couldn't tell if Tommy Joseph had touched Joe Panik. He obviously goes through with the play and makes the throw. I was very close right there. So an off-balance flow, they do get the one out. Galvis tries to go to third base, but Belt anchored there safely. So the Giants have another first and third situation.
Well, I'm saying he didn't touch him, right?
Yeah.
Span reached on an error in the first. Well, watching Nunez run in the last two games in San Francisco, I know the Giants have Belt in scoring position, but I would not be shocked at all if he took off.
And Eflin really isn't that quick. He's a little slower than normal.
The other thing is, if you do stay at first, you got that opening between Joseph and Hernandez, with Joseph holding on Nunez.
And with a left-hander up, you would like to take advantage of it. Pitching him in. It's a pitch you can pull.
There was one thing I watched Joe Morgan, when a guy got on first, it was usually Chili Davis. Joe didn't really ever want Chili to go. He wanted to aim for that. At least give him a couple of strikes before you went.
Most stolen bases in the major leagues. Eduardo Nunez in the fourth spot with 28. Jonathan Villar, Starling Marte, Billy Hamilton, all in the 30s.
Nunez wearing the road grays for the first time. At first, 2 outs. Now he goes foul.
Boy, nice jump. Always seems that way when somebody fouls him out, doesn't it?
Yep.
But take a look at it.
He gets going pretty quick.
Cameron Rupp, the catcher for the Phillies, he's got a really good arm. So if you steal a base, you're going to be stealing it off of the pitcher.
Side retired. Giants trying to pair. Phillies coming up.
is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Phillies 2, Giants nothing. Here's Tyler Goodell. And he takes high. It'll be Goodell, Galvis, and then Zach Eflin. Giants have set the table in back-to-back innings, but have not been able to come up with that sometimes elusive hit with runners in scoring position. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, just keep setting it up. Best way to get out of a slump, keep giving yourself opportunities to score. The money hit will come.
Goodell at 203, 4 home runs, 16 driven in. It's been very frustrating because this is hit on the ground, and knocking it down is Nunez, and his throw is wide. So reaching is Goodell. Frustrating because a lot of those elusive hits have come with Bumgarner on the mound.
Just a 2-hop bullet that gets it. Nunez in the boiler, kind of slings it over to first base. He's got a good arm. Perhaps hurried it a bit, throws it up high, and not even a 6'5" first baseman could do much about it.
So here's Galvis.
If you play third base with Madison Bumgarner on the mound, you're going to get a lot of action.
And a strike. Nine home runs for Galvis. A rocket at Pagan, and Pagan's going to make the catch. Insider Podcast is sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition and is live on CSNBayArea.com. You can log on each week as Insider Alex Pavlovich talks baseball, and it's also available on iTunes.
That was a top spin liner, hit right on the button.
Eflin showing no signs of a bunt.
Just really hits him low in the heel of the glove. I mean, that was not an easy play just because of the top spin on it. His first time through the lineup, and there's been a lot of loud contact off of Bumgarner.
Now, if Eflin didn't show bunt on the first pitch, that may change, but indicate that Phillies think he's a pretty good hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's 4 for 19. But we don't get to see all of Eflin's at bats, so we're assuming that he can swing it a little. Rolled foul. It's 1-2. Phillies are 11 games under 500. They're 48-59, and they've made strides from where they were last year at this time. I think you realize you're making strides when before the trading deadline teams are calling you about a lot of your young players, and most of those calls were coming for a couple of their guys in the bullpen. Pulled foul again.
Whoa, lefty. Giants fans, they brought their gloves.
Yeah.
They're ready. Nice going. Not a bit. That is the primo spot. You get stuff down there every night.
Right where it starts to curl back towards the outfield. That's the one.
There's Sierra, our ball babe tonight.
I think she let that go on purpose. Back to our breaking ball. It's now 3-2. Eflin looking down. There's not a whole lot you can look for with a count 3-2.
Juan Samuel just turned his back on him at third base coaching box.
It may be that Goodell is going to go. Got him.
Strikeout number 3 for Bumgarner.
Here's Cesar Hernandez, who singled to open up the bottom of the first. Bumgarner in conversation with Crawford.
Just listen to Cesar Hernandez's walk-up song. It may be the worst one I've ever heard.
Really?
Yeah.
And the bunt. And it's going to be a base hit for Hernandez.
Well, he hits this thing, and he got a little backspin on it because it hits the ground and bites. There was not a whole lot that Nunez could do. Too much speed from Hernandez. So it sets it up for the home run guy, Aaron Altair. And this will be an interesting matchup because he homered in his first at bat against Bumgarner.
And remember, just look at the location. And Mike said probably not going to see this location again.
Well, I mean, knee high out in the outside corner, and he just flips it out to right field. So I guarantee that got Bumgarner's attention. Now he's going to be pounding his hands the rest of his life.
One ball and one strike. Both pitches in. One a strike, one a ball.
Well, with the one pitch, he impressed Bumgarner as to his ability to cover the low knee-high location away.
Foul back. It's 1-2.
Now, if he beats one of those cut fastballs on the hand and knocks it out,
well, then you got to go to plan C.
well, I don't even know if there is a plan C.
And tight again. 2-2.
And a lot of guys like to strike out a guy that hits a home run off him in the game. The next bat, you want to strike him out. But with Bumgarner, it's even a little more intense.
Out of play. 40 pitches now for Madison Bumgarner.
A lot of stretch time. Trying to pitch through an air here in the second inning.
And a base hit for left field, and that's going to knock in Tyler Goodell. It's 3-0.
So right about now, Bumgarner's saying, who is this guy? They set up on the inside corner, and that was not a hanger. It had cut on the inside part of the plate, and Altair just squares it up. So a 2-out, 2-strike RBI. And the Phillies trying to add.
So here's Franco. Franco with a solid single to the left in the first. strike, and it's 0-1. Driven to left and deep. Pagan looking up, going. Number 20 for Franco. Now the Giants have some work to do.
Set up in the inside corner. And it gets a little leaky out over the plate at the belt. And Franco, with good power, does not miss the opportunity. And this one hurts.
So here's Rupp.
Those are 4 unearned runs.
Rupp popped out in the first. And the first pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Six runs on 6 hits. Fouled off of Buster Posey. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants have won 3 games this year that Johnny Cueto started where Cueto gave up 6 runs or more. So they'll see if they can do that tonight for Madison Bumgarner.
I can't remember another start where he's been hit this solidly. Been a lot of loud contact tonight from the Phillies.
And a breaking ball. It's 1-2.
So that may be the plan C from Buster Posey. Start throwing that curveball more.
In tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 home runs in the game. Altair with a 2-run home run in the first. And here Franco, a 3-run home run here in the second. And it's 3-2 now to Cameron Rupp. And he got him. And that'll end the inning. Damage done. 4 runs on the board for the Phillies. 3rd inning coming up. Pagano leads things off.
CSN Bay Area is brought to you by the California Academy of Sciences, presenting Twilight Zone, Deep Reefs Revealed, a new exhibit exploring the ocean's mysterious deep coral reefs. Get tickets at calacademy.org.
A 6-0 lead for the Phillies. And here's Pagan. Pagan popped out. He's 0 for 1, and there's a call strike. Eflin now's got the comfort of a 6-run lead. This would be the time to start pounding the strike zone.
Well, and from the Giants' perspective, it'd be a good time to put a little ding in the scoreboard. Anything would help just to get the offense rolling. Second time through the lineup, they'll have an idea now about Eflin, about the speed and movement of his fastball. Well, the Baltimore Orioles are coming to San Francisco for interleague play Friday, August 12th through the 14th, and Sunday the 14th. We're giving away 100-pin solar bobble bodies to the first 20,000 fans, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets right now at sfgiants.com/tickets.
Pence drew a walk in the first. And here he takes a strike. Buster Posey on deck. Eflin getting the ball back and looking for a sign.
Yeah, he's got a shoot fire rock right now. He's working a quick pace.
Pence on the ground to short for Galvis. 2 outs. And here's Buster Posey. Buster in his first at bat hit a ground ball to second, reached on a fielder's choice. And the first pitch fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Crawford to follow, and that evens the count. Pitch number 51 for Eflin. Foul back, 1-2.
95 outside corner at the knees. Says he got a little natural sink to his fastball, makes it a bit heavier when he gets down around the knees. Smile, okay.
Got him. Posey pulls it foul as Eflin pulled the string.
Roberto Kelly making a play.
And those 3 didn't. All right. Yes. Oh, yes. 1 happy, 2 not. 2-2.
Psyched. Hey, they're sharing.
They're going to let him look at it, not hold it for very long.
Yeah, that's all you get. Sorry, pal. Check back later.
2-2 to Posey. Mr. fouls it back.
Yep, I got one. You don't. They're in a good spot, though. They may give another couple before the night's over.
Oh, you got to get the little sister involved. Posey into center field, but it's right at Altair, and that'll end the inning. Phillies coming back up. They lead 6-0.
Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Matt Moore, June 18th, Giants in Tampa. And he dealt 6 strong innings, 6 hits, allowed a couple of earned runs, 5 strikeouts on 106 pitches. He got a no decision in that game. Remember, the Giants went into Tampa and won all 3 of those games. But they were impressed with Matt Moore, who is now the newest Giant. And number 55, the number that he wore in Tampa, he will not wear here in San Francisco. Giants aren't quite ready to put 55 on the shelf to be used again yet. He'll wear number 45. The Giants starting rotation will look like this now. Bumgarner tonight, Cueto tomorrow. Then Moore slots in right after Cueto. He'll pitch the finale. And then Samardzija will open it up in Washington on Friday. And then followed by Matt Cain. Jake Peavy is in the bullpen.
The 2-1 to Joseph, and Joseph pops it up. It's Panic battling the wind again, and he puts it away. Here's our Geico quote from Giants GM Bobby Evans on yesterday. I still think this is more of a game than a business, but today it feels a lot more like a business. And he's talking about having to trade away Matt Duffy, who was well liked by everybody, including the general manager. So here's Jimmy Paredes. Paredes on the ground to Belt, and Belt will take it himself. John Miller is on assignment. Dave Fleming is going to be joining Mike here in the 4th inning. I'll head over to the radio side to Lee Jones in the background. And I'm assuming by the time I get back, the Giants will have the lead. Is that asking for too much?
No.
No, I don't think so.
If you're going to ask, you got to go large. There's the Philly fanatic. Always entertaining.
Thought maybe Lucille would show up here in Philly. There's a pitch down low.
I asked Lucille. Lucille said, no.
No?
Not this time.
Sign language, right?
Yeah. He's got 2 little Lucille's, and so Lucille said, I'm sticking around.
It's one of his favorite gags is to do the cheer with 2 boxes of popcorn and end up the people who are loaded with popcorn.
He is hysterical.
He's awesome. Swinging a foul back by Goodell. This guy thinks he's going to become part of the act. It's probably not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
That guy's invisible.
Grab some pine meat.
The 1-2. Thought he had it. He's going to let Bob Davidson know it's 2-2.
I think that's what that body language said.
I think you're right.
He's thinking this is strike 3, inning over. No, ball. Now watch the Gumby shoulders. Oh, killing me.
Now I'm really unhappy. It's 3-2.
Next pitch, number 60.
Crawford eats it, throws it, got him, and that'll end the inning. Dave Fleming will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. And it's 6-0 Phillies.
Here at Citizens Bank Park. Joining us now in the booth, Dave Fleming, and welcome. I hope you brought some runs.
6-0. Hard to believe.
That'll be a pretty good game.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Kipe expects some runs to come now that we've made the little switch over.
He does. He puts a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, well,
expectations are high.
What do you think it is, by the way, about this guy, Zach Eflin? I mean, he's been good overall, but against the Giants, 9 shutout innings this year against him. And not a lot of hits. Brandon Crawford trying to get the Giants started here.
Well, you know, it's hard to explain why a guy has success against a team.
Crawford crushes one to right field. And there's a run. Brandon Crawford way gone.
You did good.
See, it's just that easy.
Dave, instant offense Fleming. I'm impressed. Well, he gets one up here. You can see the high target, though. They wanted to go in on his hands. And Bumgarner, and Crawford, rather, looking for the fastball in. Got what he was looking for, and this is the result. And for Crawford, that's 10 home runs on the year now.
Brandon Belt takes very high.
But you can always explain why a guy has success against certain type of hitters. His pitching type might be a little more suited for guys who are low ball hitters rather than high ball hitters. But for a guy to have mojo on a whole team, that's hard to explain.
Well, one thing about playing in this ballpark, you do figure you're going to have to use a long ball. And we've seen the Phillies hit 2 home runs already. Now the Giants go deep. Maybe that'll get everybody going. Belt against a kind of a hanging breaking ball there, fouled it away.
It's really nice how this ballpark has grown in. The batter's eye in center field has ivy on it. It's taken a few years to just about get it all covered up, but it's a great place to hit. Good background, and obviously carry from foul line to foul line.
2-2. Okay, a little more growing still to go.
That's something to do in the offseason.
Good take by Belt. 3-2.
Plus the skyline changes every time we get here. A lot of building going on downtown Philadelphia.
Big time.
The highest building, that's the Comcast building.
Foul ball.
The new building under construction where all the cranes are, that's the new Comcast building.
So, yeah, pretty big presence here in this city. Belt strikes out swinging.
Well, looking to host clients or friends in a luxury suite environment at AT&T Park? Well, select premium seats are still available for the upcoming Mets and Braves series. Available spaces include the Tony Bennett Suite, Docker's Deck, and the always popular Virgin America's Loft, Virgin American Loft space. So just go to sfgiants.com/suites and check it out. That view that you saw in the picture is from the Virgin America Loft. Ron Wotus talking to Eduardo Nunez. Remember, it was Nunez had an error in the second inning. It really kind of set things up.
All 4 of those Phillies runs in that second will not be earned to the record of Bumgarner because of that error. 1-1 to Panic, who walked his first time up. Bumgarner on deck. Giants on the board on the Crawford home run. That is ball 2. Eflin, he works fast. That one is playable. Rupp and Franco. It's the catcher. 2 down. It's one of my favorite ballparks to come to. And they've always had great fan support. A little less so these last couple of years as the Phillies mini dynasty of sorts sort of come to an end with all the players that were here for so many years. but it's a great baseball town. Bumgarner on the first pitch hits a foul.
Well, it is a great baseball town, and I really enjoyed playing here the 1 year I got to do it in 1982. They're just good, solid fans, and they know their baseball, and they can be hard on you. If you work hard, give a good effort, they'll stand behind you.
Did he go? Yes.
If you're in the habit of making excuses or not working hard, it gets sniffed out here real quick, and if you get labeled in this town, you're done.
Oh-2. Bumgarner strikes out swinging. But the Giants are on the board. And that guy, Brandon Crawford, takes Eflin deep, his 10th home run of the year. Giants still have more work to do. Middle of the fourth at 6-1 Phillies.
Brought to you by PG&E, together building a better California.
You can follow Giants Baseball live with the MLB.com @BAT app. Stay up to the moment any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT on your phone and tablet. Beautiful night in Philadelphia. Giants, though, trail 6-1. Now, Bumgarner had a much-needed 1-2-3 inning in the third, so in the bottom of the fourth, he'll try to get through the 8-9-1 spots cleanly again. And let the Giants offense get back to work in the fifth inning. Galvis hit a ball hard his first time up, but lined out. Strike one.
Well, I don't think Bumgarner's used to having the type of contact that the Phillies laid on him the first 3 innings. There were a lot of loud at bats.
He looked a little shocked.
One thing we've learned about Bumgarner, though, and it's always been his strength, he may get mad, but he leaves it. I mean, he really commits to the pitch he's about to throw, and I think that's really the one thing you have to learn here, and he does it so very well. You have to commit to the pitch you're about to throw.
Old flare into center field. That'll be a base hit.
Right back in the stretch. That was not solid contact. And you know, Bumgarner, look, I don't like to give him any runs, let alone 6 runs, but he's not thinking about it. He's thinking about the guy in the box, the pitch he has to throw, and he simply tries to pick up the target and throw the best pitch he possibly can. And it's such a simple approach, but a lot of players and pitchers cannot take emotion out of the game. They can't take the history that sort of haunts their mind and leave it behind. But that's one strength of Bumgarner has been since he got to the big leagues.
Eflin will try to bunt. He gets it down. Posey will go to second, and the throw to first. Oh,
double play.
Yeah, they ruled it was a fair ball. That's a double play. And there was some confusion there with Bob Davidson and then the first base umpire, Lance Barrett. But maybe Buster and Bob Davidson are talking.
Well, it could be a possibility that he did. If that's the case, it takes away the force at second. Anyway, he ruled it a fair ball. I couldn't tell if he tagged him there. They got him regardless.
Yeah, Galvis was trying to get back, and
I assume Joe Panik touched him.
I think he tagged him. We didn't see the very end of that play, but it is a double play, and I think you're right. Posey got the first out there. Let's watch it again.
No, he never touched him. So it's force.
You're right. I don't know what the umpire signals were. That's a base hit from Hernandez.
To the top of the lineup for the Phillies have been unbelievable tonight. That's a high breaking ball, had a little hang to it, and Hernandez just went right to right field with it. The 1, 2, 3 hitters in this game are 7 for 7.
That's impossible.
With 2 home runs.
With 2 home runs. This guy, chance of just learning about him. Aaron Altair, 2 for 2. The 2-run homer in the first, the RBI single in the second.
Well, they weren't hangers. Home run was knee high on the outside corner.
Good fastball on the inside.
The other was a cutter on the hands in a 2-strike count. 2 strike, 2 out at bat. And he squared him up and hit a bullet through the left side of the infield.
The 0-1. Down and in.
Now, this is the home run of the first inning. And he's way off the plate. And he takes and just flips this thing over the wall. He's a tall guy, 6'5", with long arms. And you think a 6'5" hitter against the cut fastball of Bumgarner, no match.
He hits one deep here. Pagan on the track to make the catch. So far pretty impressive even when making it out. No runs for the Phillies, though. It's still 6-1.
Accurate grand slam giveaway on CSN. And tonight, Christopher Balderrama is going to win an Acura MDX if a Giants player hits a grand slam this inning. So go to AcuraNorCalDealers.com for more information on how to enter.
Well, we're rooting for him. Eduardo Nunez takes a breaking ball high.
We absolutely are rooting for him. On Grateful Dead night here at Citizens Bank Park in Philly.
Good timing with the Giants in town. Strike one with the slider.
And we see a lot of tie-dye around the ballpark.
That's a strike. 1-2.
Tell you the guy who really loves the Grateful Dead on the Giants team is Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy. His warm-up music. Nunez into right center field. Hanging though for Altair. One away. Nunez is 0 for 2. Giants only have 2 hits in this game. One of them a Crawford home run. Denard Span 0 for 2. This is a road trip where Span is going to be in some familiar spots. Spent a lot of time with the Nationals in the NL East. The Giants are here in Philly, in Washington, and then down in Miami. Seems like a good time for Span to get going. Back in the lineup, he had that quad injury on the collision back at home. Behind here 0-2.
Quad injury can really stay with you for a while. Charlie horse really affects everything you can do, especially when you have good speed like Span does.
Softly on the ground. 2 outs. Other than Crawford, there really hasn't been hard contact from the Giants against Eflin. That's kind of his style. The Phillies have talked a lot about how for a guy his size with his velocity, he does not strike hitters out. He got very low strikeout rate, but just doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. True to form here tonight.
Well, the thing they like on his pitches is finish, late movement. Fastball's got a little hop, it jumps at you. It's good velocity. It's low to mid 90s, but it's got finish.
Pagan a little flare. That's a foul ball. 0-2.
And I think location and movement is more important than velocity. And we see it night after night. Guys are taking hacks at the 98-mile-an-hour fastballs, and those that are straight, those that don't have finish, they get squared up. Guys who have good location, they have good finish, late movement. That's what you're looking for. We're talking about the average fastball right around 93 now, just a little under 93. A couple generations ago it was 89. But even guys that throw high 80s, if they have location and finish, they don't get hit hard.
1-2. Pagan takes that one.
So many different ways to get out a big league hitter. If you've got some deception in your delivery, a little funkiness, or you don't show the pitch early to the hitter, you can mix speeds and locations, you're good.
Well, another swing by Pagan where he's just trying to stay alive.
He's off balance, and I mean that's what hitting is. Hitting's timing. Pitching is upsetting the timing of the hitter. And Eflin has done a very good job of that tonight against the Giants.
2-2.
Just a bit outside. They're trying to be patient. Came a long way for this game. There are a lot of Bay Area expatriates living here in the Philadelphia area.
Ball 3. Another one pretty close. Well, you got Pence and his power on deck. See if Pagan can get on base, give Pence a chance.
Well, you're absolutely right. That makes this a big pitch if he could get on to set that up.
3-2. Pagan into center field. That is a base hit. Excellent at bat from Angel Pagan.
Well, you're right. Got a lot of pitches at him. In the end, he wants to put himself on first base with 2 outs, and he does indeed get Hunter Pence up.
You don't have to get it all back at once, but when you play in a ballpark like this, we talked about how you got to be able to hit the ball over the wall to come in here and win some games against the Phillies. You know, one swing of the bat totally changes the feel of this game right here.
Chip away, chip away.
Pence has walked and grounded out. Fouls that one out of play. Well, a little bit more so, I would say, than panic. The Giants gave him some time on his rehab, gave him some at bats, and he got it locked in. Was hitting for power. Hits that one into right center field. That's a hit for Pence. Pagan will dig for third, and the throw comes back in towards second. Well, here come the Giants with a 2-out rally. Back-to-back singles to get Posey up. And Buster has had 2 at-bats where he has not looked totally comfortable against Eflin, but this is his 3rd look now tonight. And Posey did not start the game against Eflin when he faced the Giants back in June, so this is his first time tonight ever seeing him. 2 on 2 out. A breaking ball. Posey a little quick. And maybe looking for that pitch. Strike 2.
Comes right back in. Another breaking ball.
Now Buster's a cleanup hitter, but he will take a 2-strike approach. Ball. That slider very close. And more than anything, an impressive pitch to lay off by Buster. That was a good 2-strike pitch.
Yeah, not easy to do. That's where you want to miss, down below when you're head 0-2.
Pence will stay close. It's not quite like Coors Field, but it is the kind of ballpark where outs on the bases really hurt you. You got to be careful, particularly with this guy at the plate. Fastball away.
95. Eflin does not have a particularly quick move, and oftentimes he'll lift that high leg up, and that's when he's really slow. So I don't think he's anticipating that Hunter Pence is going to go. But he does have a quick move for a big guy. You can't wander too far off the base.
Foul ball. 94 with the fastball.
Posey knows this is a huge at bat, a huge moment in this game. Got a good battle right here.
Yep.
Pitch count is high for Eflin.
Giants only have the 4 hits and the 1 run, but they've had a lot of these kind of at bats. In the dirt. Good take.
So 0-2 to a 3-2.
You get the guy on deck who hit the home run his last time up. Pagan the runner at third. Hunter Pence at first base, 2 down. 3-2. Pence goes, and it's ball 4.
Fastball just off the plate away, and that's an 0-2 to a walk. And the Giants keep the line moving. And the guy who's hit the best ball off of Eflin tonight is stepping in the batter's box. Set that target right in the middle of the strike zone, and they just missed outside. So Bob McClure, the pitching coach for the Phillies, coming out, and really this is to do one thing. It's to give Eflin a bit of a breather. There's no activity in the Phillies bullpen yet.
Two-out rally here for the Giants. There were 2 outs, nobody on. The single by Pagan, the single by Pence, and the walk to Posey. And 2 of those, Pagan and Posey, both were behind in the count right away against Eflin. So Crawford will get the shot with the bases loaded. These are the at-bats where the Giants, for 2 weeks now, just have not been able to come through consistently. And at some point that is going to change. This has been a good clutch hitting team for most of the year. It's just since the All-Star break it hasn't happened. This would be a good time for it to happen. And isn't it our Grand Slam inning also?
It is our Grand Slam inning.
Okay, buckle up. Bases loaded, 2 down. Crawford a little bit late.
Good sinking fastball at 93. Perfect location at the knees away.
Brandon's got 3 career regular season Grand Slams, 1 very memorable postseason Grand Slam. The 0-1. A little bit high.
Well, we go back to the 4th inning, and this was the first fastball he saw in the at bat, and he just jumped on it. Home run number 10 on the year.
Big spot in this game. Crawford up the middle, base hit. Pagan will score. Here comes Pence, and the ball is bobbled in center field. I think he was going to score anyway. Crawford knocks in 2. And the Giants can feel like they're right back in this game.
Absolutely are. That's probably going to get some activity in the Phillies bullpen. Indeed, there's somebody in there throwing now. And I would have liked to see, if the ball was caught by Altair, the center fielder, he's got a great arm. And even with Hunter Pence's speed, there'd have been a play at home. But a 2-out jump. And he was coming in. He just couldn't get it cleanly, but he can unload.
Here's Belt, and he crushes one. Deep right field. Game tied.
You're good. Dave, instant offense forming.
I told you. Not really, but.
Home run number 12. And you talk about a lit bunch. That's the Giants dugout. And they are fired up. They try to jam him. He's looking middle in, and he just yanks it out. And there's no doubt about this one.
He would hit a lot of home runs if this were his home ballpark.
Oh, you bet he would.
He would hit them to right. He'd hit them to left.
He'd have at least 30. When you think about all the balls that get hit high and to the warning track at AT&T, I mean, there are home runs here, and there are home runs in Cincinnati or Milwaukee, Arizona.
The Brandons each going deep. Looks like a commercial. Panic, a pop up. And that is out number 3. But how about the Giants? Off the deck, down 6-0. and capped off a 5-run inning with that one. Bye-bye, baby, for Brandon Belt, a 3-run homer. It's 6-6.
Brought to you by Casino Matrix, Silicon Valley's best bet for gaming, food, and fun 24/7.
A whole new game. Madison Bumgarner, base hit, Franco into left center field, and that one's going to roll out to the warning track. Span cuts it off, but it won't matter. Maikel Franco is 3 for 3. And here come the Phillies, a leadoff double.
Yeah, 3 legs on the cycle for Maikel Franco. And he's not waiting around. I mean, he's seeing the ball extremely large off of Bumgarner, and we can't say that very often about many guys. And this is a big opportunity for Bumgarner. If he can get the shutdown inning and get his team back in the dugout. But he's got his hands full right now.
Cameron Rupp, a guy who has killed left-handed pitching this year. Swung the bat well against the Giants back in San Francisco.
Yeah, he's got a home run on Bumgarner.
He takes low, ball 1.
George Cantos chalking up. Art Gardner, get him ready.
Giants score 5 in the top of the 5th, tie the game, but right away the go-ahead run in scoring position. See if Bumgarner can pitch through it. Cutter for strike 1 swinging.
We talked about the home run he hit off of Bumgarner back in San Francisco. I mean, this is one that just stunned everybody. And he went right dead center into the garden. And that was a game changer that night.
We don't see a lot of those night games. It was not a particularly warm night. You got huge power. That one gets by Bumgarner. Panic will throw out Rupp. I think Bumgarner did touch it, but it will move Franco to 3rd.
I think even if he catches that thing cleanly, it's still going to be a productive out. Franco was definitely going to 3rd base on contact, and he had a nice jump. So this becomes a strikeout situation now. I think he did catch a piece of it. So the Giants have to settle for just the 1 out as they watch the Phillies move up 90 feet to 3rd base. So now all the infielders are looking to Ron Wotus as to how they're going to play this. And it looks like they're going to bring him in.
But he is a guy you can pitch to for a strikeout. Tommy Joseph will swing and miss a lot. He's also dangerous. Got a lot of power himself.
And he's quick middle in.
So let's see. Runner at 3rd, 1 out, tie game. Good pitch, strike 1.
And that's a pitcher strike right there. I'm not sure how much of the plate it had. I don't think Joseph was too overly enthusiastic about it.
Oh, plenty. He's gotten a few calls from Bob Davidson, I think, in this one. That one is up the middle, base hit. And Bumgarner's screaming at himself.
Well, what he's upset about is he just caught too much strike zone on it. Once you get ahead 0-1, you have a chance to go off the strike zone and hope he follows you. When you make a mistake over the middle of the plate, that's one that's going to haunt you, and that was right back over the middle. So, and Joseph, to his credit, taking advantage of the location mistake and not trying to do too much.
That's true. That was just a nice, simple approach against Bumgarner to put the Phillies back ahead.
And it's that type of a bat right there is what really excites the Phillies about Tommy Joseph. Obviously, he's got some power, but he's also got some bat head control.
And now Paredes, a high fastball misses. Giants tie, Phillies back ahead. Paredes 0 for 2. Still a long way to go in this game. Contos warming up. Phillies had their bullpen going. Eflin's thrown 101 pitches through 5. That one right off the plate, going to be a tough play. Nunez. He got him.
Kind of took a weird bounce on Nunez as he was crashing in on it. But the one thing Giants fans are going to find out about Nunez is that he's got a good arm. If he can get a good grip on the exchange, glove hand to bare hand, I mean, he can make up for any kind of lost time on the play. There's the weird bounce we're talking about. Him from the hip. Shoots him down. So
close.
Making our forward right choice. Why not? That's a big play. Our forward right choice.
It is a big play. Phillies looked at it, and their choice was not to challenge.
Right here, it kind of kicks back to the right hip of Nunez. And despite all that, he still manages to make the play. Well done.
So here's Tyler Goodell. Chance to knock in a run, though, with a hit. Ball 1. Goodell is 0 for 2, although I think both times you would say he's had good at-bats against Bumgarner. Kid from St. Francis High.
He's got quick hands, especially up high.
2-0. Galvis, who's also had some good at bats tonight in the on deck circle. If Goodell reaches, I wonder whether Bruce Bochy would consider making a move. Usually Bumgarner gets as much trust and leash as anybody.
And he's only throwing 83 pitches, and I mean, he's like automatic 100 plus every time he goes out there.
But you got Contos getting ready. That's a strike. 3-1.
A lot of time out of the stretch tonight for Bumgarner. He's had 1-1-2-3 inning, and that was in the 3rd. But a lot of guys have got on to start the inning off. 4 times in the 5 innings he's gone out there, the leadoff hitter's been on base. And 3 of those times they've scored.
That's ball 4, not close. He walks Goodell. Well, Bruce Bochy, Dave Righetti, they were talking. Bochy's sort of pacing around in there. But he's going to stick with his guy. Righetti on the phone again. 2 on, 2 out. Curve for a strike. You know, he never has totally established that pitch tonight. And lately, that's been a great weapon for him. 1 for 2, both times hit line drives. Hits that one on the ground to third. Tough hop. Nunez scoops it and gets the force at third. Bochy sticks with Bumgarner. He gets that big third out. But the Phillies score to go back ahead through 5. It's 7-6. Moore arrived here today during the afternoon. Talked to Jim Kozimor on Sports Talk Live before the game. Met up with some Phillies folks that he knows. Got some throwing in his new Giants uniform. He's going to wear number 45. Getting to know his new Giants teammates. So Matt Moore traded from the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday at the deadline. Giants also picked up a new reliever. He's here, and I think he looks good in the orange and black.
Yeah, Will Smith, you're right. A lot of new faces. Well, Matt Moore, he's in his 5th year at the big league level, 27 years old. Tall guy, 6'3", 210. And extremely excited to be over here.
Giants are excited to have him. We go to the 6th, new pitcher, and it's Luis Garcia when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
See what Garcia's did in Lehigh Valley, the AAA affiliate, in 39 games, 2.58 ERA. He's 7 saves. He was their closer, hard thrower, mid to high 90s. He's also got a slider and a split. I mean, he can be electric at times. It just, he hasn't had the consistency to command that the Phillies want to see yet. So he is their first guy in, long man.
Oh, breaking ball for strike 2 called. Bumgarner hitting for himself. I don't know whether he'll stay in the game as the pitcher. He could. 87 pitches through 5. But they almost always in a spot like this will let him hit. Outside 1 and 2. He struck out twice against the starter Eflin. Giants were down 6-0. They tied it 6-6. Now the Phillies, Bumgarner's almost like he's laughing at something as the pitch is coming in. 2 and 2.
I think he was laughing about the fact that the second pitch was called a strike. He thought it was a ball.
And maybe Bob Davidson and he have a little dialogue going on.
Hey, Bob, I want that one too.
He's making himself laugh at least. Very high, 3 and 2.
Easy take there. I mean, Garcia's no rookie. He's got about a year's time at the big league level. He's 29 years old. Big guy, 6'3", 250.
Ball 4. Bumgarner draws a walk. How about that? I think we're just seeing more and more of that from him, Mike, where he had the double to the opposite field. He's taken walks, and I'm not saying he's going to win a batting title as a pitcher, but he's just become much more than a guy who is trying to hit a home run every time.
He does work on it. He goes back into the cage behind the Giants dugout underneath the stands, and he'll hit a lot off the curveball machine.
Nunez, the hitter. 98 miles an hour, foul ball. And the Giants are not sending out a runner for Bumgarner. So I think that means he'll stay in the game and pitch. In the bottom of this 6th inning, Nunez, a little pop-up. One away. Quiet night at the plate for Eduardo Nunez.
So far.
So far. Span 0 for 3.
It's the guy the Giants really need to get going on this trip.
Yep.
Top of the lineup is always important. It always seems to matter a little more when you're on the road.
Well, particularly that first inning, you get a chance to set the tone for the game.
Seven in on the hands. Well placed first pitch fastball.
When I met out Bob Davidson, I don't know what's going on. Is there a fan that he's upset with? Did he just toss a fan out of the game?
Well, I think he did. There he is. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Bob walked all the way over to the side wall, called timeout. He tried to eject him from the game, I think.
Guys sit right back down, so he's not going anywhere. Bob.
Span off the plate. Galvis will get the out at second. 2 down.
Bob Davis is not letting it go. Now the usher is over there talking to the fan that was getting on Bach and Bob. Let it go, Bob. He paid his ticket. He pretty much say what he wants to say.
For a minute there, I just couldn't. I think Pagan was like, "Are you coming over to yell at me?"
I think everybody at the Giants dugout was kind of worried about it.
Ball 1 to Pagan, who had a tremendous at bat. They're getting this guy out of here. Bob Davidson has ejected a fan.
I don't get it. The guy paid his money. I don't know how you can eject him. They may put him in another seat. I've never seen that. Wow.
Bob. They got the cops. Not messing around. I would like to know if there's some sort of threshold of, I mean, is there something he said that could possibly justify that?
Oh, this is Philadelphia. Come on.
Bob would not have done well as a player here, apparently.
No. Booing is an art form here in Philadelphia. But the bottom line is, I mean, that guy bought his ticket. What you learn in professional baseball as a player is that's important. They can pretty much say what they want to say. And I don't know if Bob got the memo or whatever.
1-1 to Pagan, who singled to start the 5-run 2-out rally last inning. Checks his swing. Ball 2.
Now, if a fan's using profanity and he's offensive to those around him, obviously he earns the right to get tossed out of a ballpark.
Yeah, maybe the team could decide that. An usher, another fan complains to the Phillies, guest services or whatever. But that was weird.
Pocket Bob's got rabbit ears.
Pagan to deep right field. It's gone. For the first time tonight, the Giants lead 8-7. Third Giants home run of the game.
And he just flipped that ball out to right. He made that look easy. And the Giants fans are loving life here in Philadelphia. They want to go in his hands. And he just drops it a little bit above the knees, middle in strike zone. And Pagan hits number 7 out. The Giants and Madison Bumgarner have the lead.
That's almost as amazing as Bob Davidson kicking a fan out.
Well, you think hitters like to hit here?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
I knew he hit it hard, but I just off the bat, is that a home run? And it was. Pence, strike 2 swinging on the slider. 2 just tremendous at bats tonight from Angel Pagan in back-to-back innings. Maybe the biggest ones of the game, really, when you look at it. There were 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th. He fell behind 2 strikes and got the base hit. Now Pence goes down swinging. But Angel Pagan with the 3rd Giants home run of the game. We're wearing out. Bye-bye, baby, here in Philadelphia. We got 2 more games plus 3 innings to go. 8-7 Giants.
Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Getting off the canvas, the Giants tonight here in Philadelphia. They were down 6-0 in this game, and now they lead 8-7, bottom 6.
And Bumgarner going right back on the mound. Thanks to that man right there, Angel Pagan. Bumgarner has a lead for the first time tonight.
Taylor Featherston, the pinch hitter against Bumgarner, taking a curve for strike 1. The leadoff hitters have given Bumgarner a lot of problems. 5 innings, 4 of them have reached base safely. 1 for 6. Featherston as a major leaguer this year. That one misses with a cutter, 1-1. And you got the top of the order, which has just been unbelievably effective against Bumgarner in this game, coming up next. So this is a big at bat. Curve, ball 2.
Has not been easy for the Giants tonight.
No. Strickland, I do believe he's ready to go. And we may see him, could be even after this hitter, depending on what happens.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think they're going to let Bumgarner get back in the stretch. He's had a lot of stressful throws tonight.
Two and two. This is high. This might be a pitch for Bumgarner to stay in this game.
Umpire does have the right to throw anybody out. I mean, he has the right to throw a fan out, but you just don't see it.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Unless a guy's just, like I said, profanity is just flowing.
Foul ball.
But if he's just riding an umpire, and again, we don't know.
We don't know. It was such a strange moment in the midst of this game.
Plus, it wasn't like he was up against the screen. The guy was like 10 rows or more back up in the stands.
I'm going to count. I bet he was at least 15 rows up.
And that's the part I've never seen before. That guy that deep in the stands getting tossed.
Plus the dugout. He was 150 feet away from Bob Davidson. That's ball 4.
And here comes Bruce Bochy.
We're spoiled, and it's not the Bumgarner that we're used to seeing. So he will leave the game after the leadoff walk, and the Giants are going to the bullpen. Hunter Strickland is going to come in as Bochy makes the change. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Up to the bullpen now. Giants lead by 1. We'll be back.
Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Pirates are coming to town on the next homestand. Monday, August 15th is Peanuts Night at AT&T Park. Yeah, Snoopy Snow Globe is part of the special event package. Ticket to the Giants and the Pirates, sfgiants.com/special events. The Giants, the Peanuts, to Bay Area institutions.
Oh, no doubt.
Hunter Strickland into pitch now, but nobody out in the 6th, top of the order for Philadelphia. Fastball a little bit low.
The numbers for Hunter Strickland as he comes into his 50th game. 3-1 with a 2.88 ERA, 38 strikeouts and 40 2/3. Mid to high 90s with velocity. 2 types of movement with a fastball, slider, and a split.
And I think he's been throwing the ball well lately. Featherston has some speed at first base, so you got to pay attention to him. Hernandez 3 for 3 against Bumgarner. All 3 singles. He scored 2 runs. Been a big part of the offense. And that leadoff spot, Denard Span 0 for 4. Hernandez 3 for 3. That has been a big difference. And not to pick on Denard, but it's just one game. When that table setter gets on, sets things up for the big hitters.
5 times tonight the Phillies have gotten the leadoff hitter on. And that makes it a tough night, stressful night.
1-1. Ball 2.
When your top of the lineup is making a habit of getting on base. And the Phillies 1, 2, 3 hitters tonight, 8 for 9. It just means you're going to be doing a lot of stress time, a lot of stretch time.
Long hold, 2-1 pitch, not close. Well, it's 3-1. And Hunter Strickland knows you get the power that's coming up after Hernandez, and not that Hernandez isn't a capable hitter, but you don't want to walk him. That is a foul ball. Runner is taken off. Featherston from first. Full count, 3-2. So if he was going 3-1, I would expect he's going to be going 3-2.
Yeah, I would expect.
If you can get a swing and miss the way Buster Posey's been throwing, even with Featherston's speed, maybe a chance for a double play. He goes, swing and a miss. There's the throw, the tag, not in time. Close, not quite. Buster wants the Giants to look at it.
Now Posey's throwing over 40% of would-be base stealers out. There's the high fastball right by Hernandez. I can see what Posey was looking at, but I do believe he beat it out. Giants will not contest.
It was a quick exchange, strong throw, good tag. But Featherston safe with the steal. 1 out. That's the tying run in scoring position. Altair, who went 2 for 3 against Bumgarner, takes a strike. I give Featherston some credit. Sometimes, and it's not a steal, it's a 3-2 situation where the runner's going to take off. You see guys get jumps that are not good, and they still go. He got a good jump.
That's the last thing you'll hear from your first base coach. Make sure he goes to the plate. And because of that, they don't get a great jump.
0-2, 99-mile-an-hour fastball. And look out. That was not graceful. Hold on, don't pull him up yet. Yeah, he needs a minute.
Yeah, hang on a second. All right, we're good. We're good.
Oh boy.
Easy,
watch out.
Easy.
That didn't look good. 0-2. Altair down the right field line, foul. This guy's scary right now.
He's inside the ball too. That's not a hook swing. He stayed inside it. The Giants are definitely trying to figure this guy out. Now again, he's 6'5". You think 6'5", you can pound him in, and that's an inside-out approach. Boy, he really dropped that elbow into the side. That's a one-piece swing right there. He had 3 good at-bats against Bumgarner, one of which was a home run and went the opposite way.
Oh, 2. Good pitch.
Yeah, that is a good pitch. That's his best bolt right there at 99. Always seems when the Giants come out of the cool area or the cool weather in the Bay Area, and they get to the warmer weather on the East Coast or the Midwest, that the hard throwers pick up an extra couple feet, and I think that's true with Strickland.
The 1-2 in the dirt with the slider. Right now, Aaron Altair looks like the best hitter the Giants have seen all year. And that's how comfortable he looks at the plate.
Comfortable and confident. It's a bad combination when you're trying to get it out.
Tying run at second with good speed. Featherston. From 0-2 to 2-2. That one just missed.
And the other thing too about a guy who gets locked in, he's that confident, he knows the strike zone and he stays in it. And the way this guy's swinging the bat, I mean, you'd like to think you could use the base at first. It's open, but the guy behind him is on fire too. But it does allow you to go to a corner here. It does allow you to think you can make a knee-high pitch on the corner and hope he expands the zone.
(3-2). He went to the corner and he struck him out at 99 miles an hour.
That's a big league pitch right there. I mean, that's what excites the Giants about Strickland. For him to be able to say, all right, fastball situation, here's my fastball, put that kind of velocity on it, put this type of location on it, and that is perfection. And he just struck out a hot hitter.
I truly don't want to overstate things. That's one of the best pitches he's thrown all year. Considering the circumstance, the way that guy has looked at the plate, his swings even earlier in the at-bat.
Buster Posey's, I think, saying, listen, we got an open base here. Let's make about 4 or 5 more of those pitches you just threw. Because Maikel Franco is dialed in, and he's got 3 legs of the cycle going tonight. The only thing he's missing is a triple.
And the thing about him is there's an incentive not to just out and out walk him because he's such a free swinger, such an aggressive swinger.
He loves the first pitch.
Here is the first pitch right on the corner.
See, Buster Posey, I'm sure that was a conversation. He came back in and his first location was setting his glove right on the corner. And I don't think he moved it a whole lot.
Went with the slider and missed.
This is back in the second inning. This is an 0-1 count. He got a little cutter. And that was a big blow. That was a 4-run second inning. That was a 3-run shot. His 20th of the year.
So he's had a single and a double to go along with that one.
Watch how late Buster Posey sets up the sign, or the target rather, not the tip.
Yeah, he waits and waits and waits. Now there it is. A bouncer toward the middle and through. And that's just a bad break for the Giants. Featherston will score, give Franco credit. But a ground ball finds a hole, and the Phillies have tied the game.
Well, it's a hot hitter hit. Just a 2-hopper through the infield. This is not an exceptionally fast infield. But Maikel Franco is a strong man, and he's going to get balls through the infield a little bit easier. So, a brand new ball game.
Well, that was another pretty good pitch, I think, from Hunter Strickland. Here's Cameron Rupp. That run will be charged to the record of Bumgarner. A wild one tonight in Philadelphia. We're only in the 6th inning. First pitch slider. Rupp was swinging away.
Well, Rupp, like any other hitter, is watching the fastball that Strickland's throwing, and he's going to go up there and look for that. He's not even going to think about the slider or the split.
He missed with that fastball.
Yeah, but he missed in, and that's going to set up a way, which is where he wants to throw it.
Four of the 8 runs, by the way, to the record of Bumgarner will be unearned. That one stung Posey a little bit.
Who's going to lead off for the Giants in the 7th inning?
Yeah. It's the life of the catcher, right?
Indeed. See where this hits him. Maybe on the thumb of the glove.
Yeah, and then isn't that the thumb that's been bothering him?
Yep.
That hurts.
Oh, at that velocity, doesn't take much to make it hurt.
1-2. Very high.
And what do you get to do when you just got hit on the thumb with a foul ball at 98 miles an hour? You get to try and catch a 97-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you. A little overthrow there, and it almost takes the glove off the hand of Buster Posey.
Half swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, Strickland threw the ball well, but the Phillies get the run and tie the game. There's a little pressure on Kipe as he's coming back to join you. 8-8 ball game.
To you by your local Toyota dealer. Has been a wild one here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia for the Giants. 8 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. The Phillies 8 runs on 11 hits. Bumgarner 10 hits allowed in his 5 innings, 8 runs, 4 of which were earned. Brandon Crawford his 10th home run. Brandon Belt his 12th. Angel Pagan his 7th. And Maikel Franco has 3 legs of the cycle and 4 hits. Right now, a new pitcher for the Phillies when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up and hog, and your brake experts. This is Edubre Ramos coming in for his 18th game. It's a hard thrower, mid-90s with a hard slider and a changeup. And here to tell you all about it, back again, Dwayne Kuiper.
Sounds like the last guy.
Yeah, they got a lot of hard throwers coming out of that Philly bullpen.
So Buster Posey is 0 for 2. Buster Posey does not mind those guys that throw 98. Matter of fact, he kind of looks forward to them, especially when the count is 2 balls and no strikes
in a tie ball game.
And that's where he's at right now. Foul down the right field line and out of play. Well, I got to tell you something. Dave did a great job over here.
Well, you did a good job on the radio. You
Radio
scored 8
side, I
runs.
was really good.
I expect a lot of offense out of you right now.
Thought I said before I left that when I came back in here, the Giants would have the lead. Look out. And that's a base hit for Buster Posey.
And here come the Giants.
So Crawford's going to hit.
This game does have that last man standing feel to it.
Yeah, this is one of those where when you go to the ninth, you'd like to have about a 5-run lead. Crawford has got 3 RBIs in this game. He's 2 for 3. There's Derek Law. Belt on deck. So I'm going to foul straight back and out of play.
Good pitch to hit. 97-mile-an-hour challenge.
So here's the pitch to Crawford. And it will not be a pitch. It'll be time. Belt on deck. It's 8-8. Breaking ball. 0-2.
That's a good quick one. So that goes in the database for Crawford. A weird night from one perspective. This is the first time in Madison Bumgarner's career he's ever given up 10 hits and 8 runs in a game, although 4 of those 8 runs were unearned.
Crawford out swinging on the breaking ball. 1 out.
That's a straight down bite right there from the high 3/4 release. I mean, that is a nasty breaking ball.
Here's Belt. Belt has got 2 hits in this game. One of them a very, very long home run. And there's another breaking ball for a called strike. Here's the home run.
Yeah, they tried to jam him inside, and he just turned around the scout report.
And a strike. It's 0-2. Panic on deck. Posey at first.
Boy, he just 3-pitched him 97-mile-an-hour above the hands. So 2 impressive strikeouts for Ramos as he goes through Crawford and Belt. And that's just a good mistake. They set the target at the knees on the corner away, and they winds up going above the hands at 97.
Joe Panic is 0 for 2. Posey gets chased back.
After looking at that breaking ball, I think if you're hitting off of Ramos right now, you're trying to avoid the 2-strike count. Get a fastball early, jump on it.
Put it in play. 1-0. Connor Gillespie is in the on-deck circle. It would be for Strickland's spot. So Joseph takes a hit away from Joe Panic. It remains 8-8. Tie ball game. It's 8-8. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
New pitcher now for the Giants will be the right-hander Derek Law. 42nd time that he has come in his rookie year, and he has had a great year. 4-1 with a 2.27 ERA with 40 strikeouts in 39 innings with just 6 walks. And you'll see mid-90s fastballs with 3 types of specialty pitch: curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Yep, they got their hands full, but I guarantee you they're happy, happy, happy. Here's Tommy Joseph, who took a hit away from Joe Panik. First pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Panik was too excited about that either. And he doesn't show a lot of anger very often.
He does not.
He showed some anger walking out to this position.
2-0. Giants have not been able to avoid getting that leadoff hitter on.
Will Smith, the newest Giant in the bullpen, just got into Philadelphia today about 5 o'clock.
Crawford to Belt. The Phillies have had their leadoff hitter on 5 times.
And they've scored 4 of those times.
You see some numbers on Will Smith.
Well, with the Brewers this year, 27 games, 1-3 with a 3.68 ERA. And the strikeouts, he averages 1 an inning. And he joins, in his career since 2013, he averages 11 per 9 innings, which puts him in the top 3 of left-handed relievers.
Here's Paredes. Oh for 3. You're going to miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a good changeup, and you know he doesn't throw that thing as much as Mark Gardner wants him to throw it. Mark Gardner encourages him to use the other 2 specialty pitches he has. Primarily, he throws the slider. He calls it a slider. It really is a curveball.
Good pitch, 1-2.
And that 94 looks a whole lot faster after an 83-mile-an-hour changeup. Derek Law, a quick pitch.
Hit on the ground to Belt, and Belt will take it himself. 2 outs. Bringing Goodell to the plate.
Fanatic making friends.
Difference in this game, Mike, is here you see the Fanatic. Phillies' first 3 hitters are 9 for 12. There's a called strike to Goodell. Yeah, we watch a lot of mascots, and you could watch the Fanatic all the time.
If he had the Fanatic movie, I'd go to it. And he does kiss all the babies.
Oh my goodness! So this.
I'd go to the movie and then I'd buy the DVD.
Doll. Yep, the doll. Good breaking ball. It's 1-2 for the Giants in the 8th inning. They'll have the pitcher spot. Nunez, and then Span, and then Pagan. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Law with a 1-2-3 7th. Giants to see if they could take the lead. It's 8-8.
Giants beat the Phillies 15-3 right here in Philly at Veterans Stadium, the old field. Ellis Burks, Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent hit back-to-back home runs off Mike Welch, and the Giants have hit 3 consecutive home runs 7 times since. The most recently was opening day of this year when it was Span, Panic, and Posey. In that game in 1998, there was also a little scuffle.
Really?
Yeah, Barry Bonds got hit. He decided he wasn't. He also stole a base with about a 9-2 lead in the 5th inning.
Not a problem.
Here it's Hector Neris, and he's having a very solid season. 65 strikeouts in 53 2/3. See a power fastball in its mid-90s and a good split. One of the best in the National League East. Also has a slider.
And he's facing Gregor Blanco, the pinch hitter. So the Giants are going to send up 3 left-handed hitters. Actually, that's not true, as Blanco lifts this one to left. So moving over is Goodell. 1 out. The reason that's not true is here's Nunez, who's a right-handed hitter, and he's 0 for 3. Nunez reached on a fielder's choice. He's lined out to center and he's popped out to second. With Span on deck. Giants have actually done their best work without getting the leadoff hitter out. So let's see what Nunez does here with 1 out in the 8th. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a sniffer. Limbo's back away from it. That definitely changes the at-bat. It has now just become personal.
Out of play, 1 and 2.
Think about Nunez, but he's got a flat swing. The bat stays in the strike zone a long time.
On the ground to short, Freddie Galvis.
Go back to that game in 1998. Ricky Metallica on the mound. He drills Bonds. Now Bonds had stolen a base. And the Giants had a big lead in the 5th inning, but the previous 2 games of that series, the Phillies had come back being down by a bunch of runs. Bonds, after the game, said, you know, it was the 5th inning. They'd come back from big deficits 2 games earlier. But hey, some things you just don't forget.
Lifted into left center field. Span's got a base hit. Span with a 2-out single. Look, I'm guessing here, but only because I don't remember Bonds doing it very often. That may be the only time we ever saw him go to the mound.
Yeah, well, he got suspended, I think, a week after that, 5 days or something. But that was why he never charged, because he knew that he would get suspended and how important he was in that lineup.
That was 98, you said?
98.
So that was the 1-game playoff at Wrigley Field year.
Yep.
They were digging a hole at the corner of 3rd and King at that time. Here's Pagan, who hit a 2-run home run in the 6th. And he takes a strike.
Some 95-mile-an-hour paint. I think if you're a Philly reliever, you kind of just figure you come into a ball game late, especially when it's close, and you're going to pound the outside corner.
Want to see Angel Pagan's happy zone?
And there it is. At that time, it gave the Giants a 1-run lead.
He's going to see a 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Neris almost came close to not stopping there.
Hunter Pence on deck. Span goes. Here's the throw. He stole it.
Now, I think that's a pretty smart move from Pagan to take a pitch, let him have a chance to put himself in score position. And that's exactly what Denard Span does. Neris is slow out of the stretch, and Span just took advantage of it. And those fans liked it.
10th, actually the 11th steal for Span, and now the 2-2 to Pagan. And a full count. He's got first base open if you'd rather go after Pence.
Now, the way he's striking people out, I don't think he cares. Get those kind of strikeout totals that he has, and he feels he can get everybody out.
Now timeout is called. It's 3-2 to Angel Pagan, and Rupp is going to go out and have a word.
The closer here in Philadelphia is Jenmar Gomez, and there was a lot of rumors about him possibly getting traded prior to the trade deadline. If he would have been dealt, Neris would have assumed the role of closer. So he's the closer in waiting. And he certainly has closer stuff.
So here's the 3-2 pitch coming up to Pagan. He got him. That'll end the inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Business, and it's hosted by Jim Cozumore tonight at 8 p.m. right here on CSN Bay Area. And you're going to get Matt Mayoko. Hey, he's back on track with the 49ers insider, Giants insider Alex Pavlovich, and Matt Moore. You're going to hear from Matt Moore on Sports Talk Live. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Well, and Giants fans say hello to Will Smith. And this is what he has done with the Brewers in 27 games, 1-3 with a 3.680 ERA. Strikeout an inning, 22 strikeouts in 22 innings. He's a big guy, 6'5", 265 pounds. And what you're going to see from him stuff-wise is a low 90s fastball. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. But slider perhaps the best of his specialty pitches.
And Freddie Galvis is going to take a call strike as he bluffs a bunt. So here's how you find out. Look, I faced you. Well, what do you got?
Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Let's just go second sign with Ben at second base, and let's go get him.
On the ground, fouled. It's 0-2.
Pitch usage is fastball and the slider combination are his two best weapons. He will throw the curveball. He actually has a changeup, although he hasn't really broken it out yet. He's in his 4th year at the big league level. Out of Noonan, Georgia.
Fit right in with the Georgia lads. Herrera, by the way, is on deck.
Enjoys golfing, hunting, and fantasy football. There you go.
Got him.
And that's how his career as a Giant starts.
So here's Herrera.
Sergio Romo in the Giants bullpen.
Herrera hitting at 283. He's got 11 home runs. He's got 37 runs batted in. He played really well in that series in San Francisco in June. And he jumps back with a breaky ball, and it's a called strike. Jeremy Affel's watching somewhere, and he's thinking, yeah, I like that pitch.
Yeah. Anytime you can make a hitter buckle like that, make him think he's going to get hit and then throw a strike with it, I would believe that Jeremy Affel would be excited about that.
And 2.
And he plants 94-mile-an-hour paint in the outside corner.
We had a guy in A-ball with that breaking ball that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he would yell at the hitter. Look out!
Who was it?
I'm not going to tell you his name.
Dennis Eckersley.
No, it was a lefty.
Ron Salyer.
And that lasted about a week before somebody said, yo, dude, that's not cool.
Hey, it worked in high school. Come on.
Goodness. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just a bit low.
I'm not sure how much clubhouse time Smith had before he put the uniform on and went out in the bullpen. He may not have had any. Hit on the ground to Crawford. Crawford knows he's got to hurry. He does, and it's not in time. I mean, you figure that Herrera, when he takes a swing at that pitch, was running out of the box.
Well, 0 backswing, and you're right. I mean, he had good momentum. Crawford had been playing up the middle, so he had to come back to his right and sort of circle the ground ball. And even despite a nice exchange, it wasn't going to be close.
Well, he never touched first.
So maybe caught it with his leg.
Yeah, probably did. So here's Hernandez. Hernandez is 3 for 4. to right field. Hunter Pence moving back. Still moving back. It's off the wall. And it hits off of Hunter Pence's leg on the carom. Stopping at third is Herrera. And it's a double and the 4th hit of the game for Hernandez.
Tell you what, that's a pretty nice play from Hunter Pence to be able to recover and keep Herrera from scoring. Goes back, they can have a chance to catch this. Now he's got to give up as it hits the wall. He's got to get to it and quickly get it back in. Well, have a night with the bat, Cesar Hernandez. So that's going to be it for Will Smith.
So Romo's coming in. It's 8-8, but the Phillies are threatening.
Yeah, pregame live at 3:30. Game 2 of this series between the Giants and the Phillies. You'll see it right here on CSN Bay Area, plus complete pre and post game coverage. And Giants insider Alex Pavlovich, the home of the authentic Giants fan, is right here at csnbayarea.com. Tomorrow night it's going to be Johnny Cueto on the hill taking on Aaron Nola, the right-hander. The Giants will be playing game 2 of this 9-game road trip on the East Coast. Right now it's Sergio Romo. 14th time that he has come in. And he inherits a strikeout situation.
And he's going to face Aaron Altair, who's got 2 hits in this game, a homer and a single. And the Giants will play the infield in. They have to. Slider, and Altair actually got a good slider to hit, and he fouls it straight back.
That was a hanging slider that got missed.
Infield in, and the 0-1 pitch. Just outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Del Franco is on deck. Great speed at third. Excellent speed at second. 1-2.
Backdoor 2-seam fastball in the corner. And this is where Romo wants him. Ahead the count 1-2, and he really hasn't shown him his kill slider. First time you see Romo from the right side, you're at a disadvantage because of the no dot on the slider. It's a breaking ball that doesn't tip. It's a breaking ball.
Base hit. 1 run scores. Hernandez scores, and it's 10-8. Five RBIs for a guy the Giants have never seen before.
Now Romo does not go with the 1-2 slider. He comes back with the same pitch he got the second strike with. And in a 2-strike protect mode, Altair throws it right back up the middle and cashes in.
So here's Franco, who's 4 for 4.
And a triple away from the cycle.
$11 hits for the first 3 hitters in this Phillies lineup. No balls and 1 strike. After Franco, only 3 hits from the 5 other spots. Altair does not have a stolen base. It's one of the things he hasn't done yet in this game. Oh,
2 sliders, 2 strikes. 2 swing through strikes.
And a soft toss again for the Giants in the 9th inning. They'll have their 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up. That's Posey, Crawford.
Jidmar Gomez, closer, heating up.
No. Snap throw. And getting back was Altair.
Buster Posey asking for help. Lance Barrett, the first base umpire, said there was no swing. All right, did he go? No.
Runner goes inside. Posey's throw is going to be late. Second stolen base of the year for Altair.
Pretty good jump for Altair. Well, he has really been impressive tonight.
Fouled on a play. Cameron Rupp is on deck.
So 0-2 to a walk, and he really Took some very close pitches. A nice at bat for Franco.
Well, the Giants want to keep this obviously as close as they can to give them a shot in the ninth. It's a hot ballpark. Get a guy on, pop one out. But it would be really wise to strand Altair and Franco. There's a strike. Rupp is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
The Giants might invite him back to play tomorrow night. I don't know if they're going to invite Franco and Altair.
Or Hernandez. Hit to right. Fence back. Gone. That's his 11th of the year. And that's the 5th run here in the 8th. It's 13-8.
He throws a slider. No, it was not. That was a fastball up above the belt, a middle away. And as soon as Rupp hit it, this whole ballpark knew it.
And here's Tommy Joseph, who's 1 for 3. Joseph got a base hit to knocking a run off of Bumgarner in the 5th. 0-2. On deck is Jimmy Paredes. So 3 pitches and Joseph is gone. And here's Paredes. Well, that one hurt.
Yeah, it did. This ballpark, mistakes can be very costly, and that was a mistake. Fastball up. And one thing the Phillies do very well, they'll go with the location.
Well, in this park, why not?
Especially if you got strong hands like Cameron Rupp. And 13 runs by the Phillies today, that's a seasonal high.
Hard to imagine in a Bumgarner start that you would see that. But I can't wait for his next start.
Well, neither can he. And that next start is going to be Sunday in Washington. And then he'll get an all-expense paid vacation to Miami.
And that'll end it. Damage done. 5 on the board. And we'll head to the 9th. It's 13-8 Philadelphia.
And we think that Aaron Altherr has been that guy. Tonight, 3 for 5 with a home run, 5 RBIs. And it happened in the first inning. He goes opposite field on a low fastball off of Bumgarner for his second home run of the year. That put 2 RBIs on the board. It wound up being a 3-hit, 5 RBI night. He's our player of the game, brought to you by Honda.
He is now in right field as Herrera stays in the game to play center. So there's Gomez facing Hunter Pence.
The closer, 27 saves on the year. You're going to see a low to mid-90s fastball with a hard slider and a changeup. And lots of sink on the fastball, as you just saw. Very, very difficult to elevate this guy. Giving up 3 home runs in 48 2/3 innings. Big time sink. But he's not just a guy that gets a ground ball. He can get a strikeout too.
Pence singled in the 5th. And he got him.
Coming around the back door. You see that pitch early, you give up, and then the late sink that comes right back into the strike zone. And that is a pitcher strike. I don't believe it was across the plate.
Here's Buster Posey. Buster singled in the 7th. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And he takes a strike.
I mean, that looks like a left-handed breaking ball. That's how much movement that sinker has coming back into the strike zone. You see that one time and you're impressed by it.
Would not be a guy I'd want to play catch with. Posey on the ground, foul.
You mean like Greg Minton?
Nope.
Jim Barr?
Yep.
Playing catch with sinker ballers is not fun.
Well, they don't even believe it throwing you something right around the belt, let alone the chest.
All right, Jim Barr didn't want to play around with his release, so he was throwing at your knees. My catch sessions with him lasted about a week in spring training, and then that was it.
Low to Buster Posey, 1 and 2.
Greatest roomie of all times. Horrible at playing catch with.
Crawford's on deck. Giants are looking for that same magic they had in the 5th. 2 outs, nobody on. They scored 5 times. Out of play. It stays at 1 and 2. Bumgarner ends up with a no decision. He nearly had a shot at a win. Two and 2 to Buster Posey.
Hard to believe that the Phillies were hitting .218 as a team in this ballpark when you saw the offensive output that they put on tonight.
Makes you not want to believe the stats. Stats are wrong.
Yeah. Can't trust them.
Get on the ground. On the backhand is Hernandez. 2 outs. And here's Crawford. This is what the 1-2-3 hitters have done. They have not been able to stop him. 11 for 14.
Well, 9 RBIs. They've scored 9 runs. The rest of the lineup they've handled 4 for 25. Wow.
Pitch to Crawford. Crawford takes pitch down low. Crawford's had a home run, a single, to knock in a pair. He's got 3 runs batted in the game. He's got 66 now on the year. And the pitch to Crawford is outside, 2-0. Crawford taps it foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. As Mike mentioned, Johnny Cueto tomorrow. And then the newcomer, Matt Moore, on Thursday. Thursday is a day game. Giants will get into Washington, D.C. probably around 8 o'clock or so. Taking the train. 2-1. 2-2.
Riding that sinker and really doing a nice job of putting it on the corners.
Over 23,000. Many are standing. And it's high. It's 3-2. Three-two pitch. Here it is to Crawford, trying to get Belt up. And it's high and fouled on the left field line and out of play.
He's had good at bats tonight, a 2-for-4 night. But his balance has been very good, as we saw in that last swing.
Three and 2. And the walk.
Nice at bat.
So it all started with a walk. Here's Belt.
And when you're down by 5 and you're facing the team's closer, I mean, that's kind of your goal. Die hard, make him throw a lot of pitches. And oh, by the way, if you can score 6, that'd be good.
Oh, not a problem. Belt with a base hit to right. Well, that's always a good sign.
It's a 3-hit night for Brandon Belt. You bet it is. They'd love to see him just get in to one of his hot streaks.
And when that happens, here's Joe Panik. Joe's last at bat was a line drive that Joseph caught.
Yeah, that was a good at bat. Rare that he shows emotion on the field, and he was not happy.
He was not. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Connor Gillespie is on deck. Tap to third, and that's the ball game. So game 1 in this 3-game series goes to the Phillies, a team that we were told wasn't hitting at all. Hit tonight, especially the first 2 Phillies in the batting order, and Madison Bumgarner's getting no decision. But hey, the Giants swung the bats, but 13 runs is tough to beat.
Well, you're right. The Phillies had the lowest home batting average in the major leagues, and it did not look or feel like it tonight. The Giants, however, they did put 10 hits, 8 runs on the board, and some guys who've been cool have started to eat up. So stay tuned as we have 2 more here from Philly.
Final score, Phillies 13, Giants 8. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right now.